Welcome to CBC Sports Presents. Tonight, the inaugural Grand Slam track season takes us to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's here that Canadian short distance star Marco Arop chases down his first title of the year.
'Cause we can't be stopped. This where heroes are made, with a shooter in the blade, mix of glory and rage. We was made for the stage. This where heroes are made, with a shooter in the blade, mix of glory and rage. We was made for the stage. It's time to get it. Go, let's go all out. It's time to get it. Go, let's go all out. It's time to get it. Go, let's go all out. It's time to get it. Go, let's go all out.
Tonight, we're at Franklin Field for the third stop of the Grand Slam track season. The next 2 hours will feature only the best races from this two-day event. Many of the sport's biggest stars are here, including Brazilian long hurdler Alison dos Santos and American short sprinter Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. But all eyes will be on fellow American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. After dominating the long hurdles at the first two stops this season, she's moved back to the short hurdles in Philly. And finally, Tulsa, Oklahoma's Kenny Bednarek looks to stay perfect in the short sprints this year. So how does a Grand Slam track event work? Each meet features 6 race groups for men and women. Each group is made up of 8 athletes that race twice. Points are earned based on how well someone finishes in each race. Whoever has the most points after the second race wins their group and $100,000 American. 3 Canadians are competing in Philadelphia. Marco Arop of Edmonton, Alberta finished second in the men's short distance at both of the first 2 slams of the season. Meanwhile, Andre DeGrasse and Aaron Brown are in the men's short sprints. Arop was on a recent episode of Trackside, CBC Sports' new digital athletics show hosted by Brown and Perdita Felician. Here he is talking about his quest to break David Rudisha's world record in the 800 meter.
It's been a goal of mine since I've started running. That was the first race I watched, in the event before I did my first high school 800. I just searched up on YouTube 800 meters, and that was the standard. Watching David Rudisha run that world record time inspired me to get to that level. And now that I'm like knocking on the door, it's really cool. It's just a testament to all the work that's been put in. I got to give a lot of the credit to my coaches, because without their belief, I don't think I would be near where I am now. So it's only a matter of time before that world record goes down. To get to 139, that's going to be a whole nother level. So that's the next step.
Could he break the world record today? There is the men's short distance group in the ready room ahead of the 800 meter. But first, the opening race of this meet. Here are John Anderson and 4-time Olympic champion Sonia Richards-Ross.
Grand Slam track Philly day 1. There's Alison dos Santos. He will compete for the 3rd time in the men's long hurdles, which means there's the hurdle race and then there's the flat 4, and Sonia's been good in both those.
I mean, he's the 3rd fastest man ever at this discipline, and he shows up and shows out every time. One of those competitors that truly enjoys what he's doing.
Walk you through the lanes out there in 8, CJ Allen. Of course, he's made some U.S. teams and had great showings at championship meets globally. Clement Ducot ran at Tennessee just for a year. Tennessee's thick with 400 hurdlers, Frenchman.
That's right, and this is the aforementioned Alison dos Santos, who has been dominant, and the crowd will certainly appreciate seeing him competing stateside.
Former world champion, in addition to those bronze medals in the Olympics.
Yeah, and this is Caleb Dean. We just heard his story. Might have heard a little bit too much earlier today, but certainly a bright star for Team USA, a 2-time NCAA champion, really finding his way on the circuit now.
Trevor Bassett got himself a world championship bronze from in Eugene back in 2022. Just a small college Ohio kid that just keeps running fast. Gerald Drummond, representing Costa Rica, made it to the semifinals in Paris. This is his Grand Slam track debut.
This is Chris Robinson. Actually had a really good showing in Miami. Surprised us there. Was 2nd overall in the slam. We'll see what he has for us today.
Another one of those Dan Waters Roll Dam Tide athletes. And Asine Wilson just missed out on making the Jamaican Olympic team by 100th of a second. Raced in Kingston, was 7th in this race back in Grand Slam track. So those are the 8 men that will go once around and over 10 hurdles. Steve Cram will have the call for all of us.
Will be Dos Santos, who everybody will be trying to get on terms with. The former world champion. Caleb Dean in 5, the other racer. Racers in the red, are wearing red numbers. Clement Ducos, the Frenchman. Can he get in amongst it here? Weather just settled a little bit, which is good, but a bit of a breeze down the back straight in their face.
Swirling wind, something you don't want in the 4 hurdles.
Set.
Cleanly away again. Caleb Dean, as mentioned, has gone off quickly. Dos Santos hitting the first hurdle, just got himself off balance a little bit and clipping the second one as well. CJ Adam going well on the outside. Now Dos Santos settling down, flying in the inside lane in 2 is Chris Robinson, who's going very, very quick indeed. And Robinson may even have the lead as they come into the top end. It's Robinson in the white in lane 2. Shirley's gone hard here. Trevor Bassett coming back into it as well as Caleb Dean just starts to fade. So Dos Santos with work to do. 3 of them abreast, penultimate hurdle. Dos Santos now takes it on. And here goes the Brazilian. Those long legs of his taking him away from everybody else. Bassett fighting to the line, but it's going to be Dos Santos again. 48-1. The lead chopped and it changed. Robinson went out so quickly, as though it was a 300-meter hurdle race.
He took it out really hard.
In lane 2.
He took it out really hard. I was talking to him yesterday, and he was concerned with lane 2, and you realize it's actually not as tight as he thought. And he made it clear he was just going to go for it, and he did. Didn't work out for him to come in the top 2 as he has been doing, but I mean, 3rd place puts him in good position for that 400, which he's showing a lot of strength in. Trevor Bassett always in the mix.
Yeah,
coming up for 2nd place.
I think at one point he might have even had his head half a meter ahead at one point.
Yeah, coming into hurdle 8, those guys had the lead on Dos Santos, and I think it was kind of like, okay, y'all woke me up, it's time to go. So coming into the home straightaway, I was thinking, hold on a second, is he going to have something? And I realized who he is, and he showed us who he is, and came through a lot stronger, a lot smoother, using that height to his advantage, getting over those barriers in the home stretch. Trevor Bassett also had a lot left too.
Yeah, it was a bit of an untidy start from Dos Santos. I think he clipped the first hurdle, maybe the second one slightly as well. So maybe that was why the others were much more on terms with him as we got to hurdle 9. I mean, Caleb Dean almost needed ladders to get over the last hurdle, but he was fatigued in the home straight. And Dos Santos, once he got kind of that rhythm going nicely, and he just saw off the threat, didn't he, in the last 80. So here we go then, 48.11 for Dos Santos, consistent as ever. Bassett 48.25, taking 2nd place. Well, that'll be a season's best for the American. Robinson again right in the mix, really went out hard, 48.76 this time. 3rd place for him after finishing 2nd in this event in Miami. Full points there for you. Clement Ducos, the Frenchman, still getting to terms with Grand Slam. 1 point for him at the bottom.
What a race to kick things off. To set the lanes for the first race of the men's short distance, the 800-meter, here are John Anderson and Kyle Merber.
All right, Kyle, this is the 8:15 group, and I guess for the purposes of this is the 8 group to start.
We started with the 1500 in the first 2 slams. Now we're switching it up. Advantages and disadvantages flip a little bit. As a miler, I would not want to start with an 800. That's going to take some sting out of your legs.
And there's a pure 50. Well, listen, you got the whole Olympic podium here. So we'll start at the top. with Cole Hocker.
The Olympic champ is hungry, and he can turn a sharp corner here after a disappointing first two. Look for him to wait to the final 100.
There's your bronze medalist.
Surprisingly, the best 800-meter guy out of the 800-meter podium so far. Yared is not necessarily explosive, but he has a long stride and covers ground quickly.
Nice yell of goose from the crowd as he comes through. Josh Kerr, silver at the Olympics.
He dropped 5 seconds from Kingston to Miami. If he does that again, that's a world record. He needs to finish in the top half of this field, though.
Marco Arop, super excited. His Edmonton Oilers are going to play for the Stanley Cup.
Undefeated in Slam 800 so far. He should not let this race lag. Make it honest. No funny business with that cut in from lanes 1, 2, and 3.
I don't know what Josh Hoey's got, but you know what? He hadn't been beat yet.
He's a hometown favorite. You can hear it from the crowd. He likes to control races from the start. Is he going to fight Marco for the lead? We're going to see.
There's 2 things I don't like in the world. People who disdain other people's culture and the Dutch. No, what is it? That's from Gold Member or whatever from Austin Powers.
Well, Samuel's the European champion. He's had a breakout season indoors.
Elliot Giles.
You know, it's his first race since February, so he may defer to others here early on. He's going to be happy to follow, and we'll just want to see him slide in into lane 4 without any issues.
This fellow went to the Olympics in both the 8 and 15.
And he said in the press conference that he should have been a racer. This is his opportunity to prove it right now. Show us, Hobbs. Tell me I was wrong.
So did you shun him or did he shun you?
That's proprietary information.
Okay, just checking.
We want to know.
Twice around. I told Arop I think he needs something in 142 to really smash the 1500 guys.
So just to remind you, the Royce will be running lane 4. You see the curve there, but the guys in lanes 1, 2, and 3, when we get to the normal break point on the back straight, have to move to their right, and the guys in the outer lanes will move to their left as normal. While we're holding our breath, Callie.
Well, I love that right there watching Hobbs Kessler get out in front there, but then we see Marco Arop. This is his race, right? We've seen him win now at both the last 2 slams over 800 meters. Today is the first time he gets to run his event in the first day of the slam. But Josh Hoey, the guy right there, Josh Hoey on the inside, or on the outside, excuse me, he likes to lead. There we go. We see him. This is what he likes to do. He likes to sniff the front. He doesn't like to be in trouble, but he's right there, kind of testing a little bit of Marco. Marco doesn't want to give up that lead.
He does not. 52, not that quick, and this is what Arop can do. He doesn't go out that hard. He builds and he builds and he builds from the front. Hoey is there, Kessler on the curve, then the Goose. Cole Hocker had a very slow start, but got himself onto the back of the field now with Chappell, who's a very good finisher as well. But this is what Arop does. Down the back straight, stretching everybody. They think they're in contention, and all of a sudden, he goes away. Josh Hoey trying to chase, then Kessler, then the Goose. Elliot Giles and Josh Kerr, the 2 Brits, a long, long, long way back, because Arop is away and gone into the home straight. Look at the gaps in this. This is sensational from the Canadian. Absolutely destroying this field. Arop looking better than ever. Miles ahead. Watch the clock. 1:43.35 off a 52.1 first lap. Whoa. They could not live with him. They could not live with him. 1:43.35. I mean, Masalela ran brilliantly last week, the young Botswana, and run quicker than that, but not like that. You're no pacemaker, no lights.
Yep.
Control the race, and I'm not sure I've seen anybody beat a field that good so easily.
Well, with Marco, the way that he likes to run out front is always spectacular. But to see the strength that he's gaining from the slam, being able to run 1,500 meters once a month, if not now, he's done once a month there at 1,500 meters. He also ran the Road to Records mile. He is building so much strength, and we just witnessed that.
I mean, it's deceptive. You can watch it. You can see what he's doing. He gets to the bell and then just goes. When you should be slowing down, what tends to happen at that part of the race, people slow down.
Yeah.
He starts to speed up. And the guys who've sat at the back thinking, we're going to start and move through now, the 1,500 guys, it ain't happening, guys. He's going away. Very, very impressive there. 1:43.38. Hoey clear, very clear in second. The Goose will be happy to have finished ahead of the rest as we head towards the 1,500 tomorrow. That set it up very nicely for him. He's in shape.
He's in big-time shape, and Holy is too. I mean, he just won the World Indoor 800-meter championships, but to see that Arup can win, and he's he has a 141 PB, so he's 2 seconds ahead of everyone on paper. But today, he showed why he is one of the best in the world.
Well, 1 or 2 will be disappointed there. Points down at the bottom there, Elliot Giles and Chappell, but at the top, perhaps Naguse out of those, perhaps the happiest in terms of the overall slam. Performance-wise, though, Hoy and Arup, brilliant, really, really good, particularly the Canadian. 12 points to him.
Marco Arup, that field is absolutely stacked, and you controlled it from the front and made it look so easy. How was it for you?
It felt great, you know. The crowd, look at this. It's easy to run past in a stadium like this, so I had to show them, put on a show for them.
It's your third 400, 800-meter win at Grand Slam. 1500 has let you down so far. Tomorrow, are you going to change that? Are you going to get the slam win?
Yes, I will. That's the plan.
And just finally, a word for Josh Hoey. The start of that race with him on the inside lanes made it very exciting with too many who love to go hard fast.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I mean, it worked out in the end. He ran a great race. He got a little chippy there, but you know, we're all competitors. We've had those moments before, and I got to give credit for him for staying composed in a situation like this. This is a great race for him.
Marco, we'll see you tomorrow. Well done today.
Thank you so much.
The conclusion of the men's short distances comes your way later in the show. After the break, the kings and queens of speed. Kenny Bednarek has been untouchable in the men's short sprints this season, while Melissa Jefferson Wooden is the one to beat on the women's side. They both race next on CBC.
CBC is your home to Nations League Volleyball all summer long. Indoors finest, welcome back. This June, Canada plays host to the opening week. The women are in Ottawa from June 4th to 8th, and 7 days later, Quebec City welcomes the men. Maple Volleys make their name. Watch it unfold on CBC Sports Presents or stream it live on our website.
The Canadian women's volleyball team wraps up their first leg of this Nations League season tomorrow. Captain Kira Van Rijk leads them into battle against Serbia at TD Place Arena in Ottawa. First serve is at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Watch the match live on CBC Gem or cbcsports.ca. Our coverage of the Philadelphia Grand Slam track meet continues. Gabby Thomas and the women's short sprints are on deck. But first, the men. Here are John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross.
We'll start here with Aaron Brown. This is his Grand Slam debut, 3-time Olympian. He has a gold, a silver, and a bronze as a part of the 4x1 relays. Yeah. The crowd has been incredible here in Philly for the Grand Slam, and Kenny Bednarek, 2-time Olympic silver medalist at 200 meters, deserves all that praise and adoration.
Here's Zarnell Hughes, who you mentioned. Second in both of the slam races to Kenny.
Andre DeGrasse, if there's a medal on the line, John, he is going to snag one. 7-time Olympic medalist, 5-time world champion. Just incredible what he's done for Canada.
Ryan Lavelle, Jamaica. Always a big contingent of Jamaican track fans here in Philadelphia when they come through. He's broken 20 in his lifetime. Udodi Onwuzurike, NCAA champ when he was at Stanford in the 200.
And I just love this addition here. Christian Coleman making his Grand Slam debut. Yeah, world champion in 2019 at 100 meters. The 100 is better event, but he's definitely has some chops here in the 200 as well.
Yep, and again, to see how things go as he's made a coaching change at age 29 and in lane 1. Tight turn, Christian Miller. Only guy that doesn't have a PR under 20 in this field, but the kid's 19, so let's give him some slack. Let's give him some time to build on that.
What a great opportunity for him to be on this track with these athletes. I mean, the sky's the limit.
But he has run sub 10 in the 100, which is pretty good at that age. 200-meter racing, Steve Cram, it's all yours.
Hughes is in 6, DeGrasse is in 5, Anyone else going to get involved? What about Christian Coleman all the way in lane 2?
I'm thinking all Kenny right now, man. What's he going to do? And Zarnell, is he going to show that he's got something?
Might just have a breeze on the back of the athletes down the home straight. Could work for them.
Set.
Twist from Hughes, but he got away, but Kenny's got away strongly as well. And in fact, Kenny Bednarek has taken a meter out of Zarnell Hughes around the top bend. Aaron Brown has had to watch him glide past him. Look at Coleman in lane 2. He has come to the races here. Can he maintain? No, no, no. Here goes Kenny, away and gone. Kenny wins it, 1993. Another great performance. It's just been taken to 1995. Daylight. In fact, almost a week between him and the rest. Never mind a day. It was
He said a week.
So far ahead of everybody.
1995 on this track is absolutely ridiculous, man. Like I said, I saw him doing those turns yesterday effortlessly, making up the stagger on Aaron Brown within the first 20 or 30 meters, which is a testament to the speed around the turn, because Aaron Brown is actually a really good turn runner. So I know Hughes did what he could. You know, he saw him for the entire race, literally. He was behind him and saw him for the entire race. But did what he could. Kenny got him straight away and just, no one's going to catch him by that point.
To try and explain this, because Hughes is running very, very well, but he's half a second behind. He's beating Brown, DeGrasse, and Coleman and everybody else, but he's half a second behind Kenny. So this is the quickest 200 ever run here. What's that worth on a
This is what we have to put into context. This track is not necessarily made for fast times. So those guys, what they ran is actually decent considering this track. But for Kenny to run 1995, which would be good on a normal track, is it just a testament, like I said, to the type of shape he's in, the confidence he has, and what he wants to do when he actually races the Noah Lyleses and the Lesile Tabojos.
Yeah, one or two new sprinters coming to the fore, but Tebogo is the guy, 200 Olympic champion, but Kenny just seems to be on a different level.
And dare I say this, let me just take a look right here for the last 50 meters. I really don't think he's pushing it in the last maybe 40 meters, which makes it even scarier.
But everyone talks about keep relaxed, and you run quicker. But you're right, he just does.
There's beyond relaxed sometimes.
Yeah.
I think he's actually saving his legs for that 100, which is strategically a good idea.
Yeah, the wind in the bag. Oh, it was in the bag after about 50 meters, but really surprising to see him that far ahead of everybody else. And as you mentioned, on this track, that's super fast for Kenny. The wind actually came up at 0. There is a breeze, but by the time they got around that bend, looking at the flags on top of the old building here.
And it's cold.
It's cold, it's a little bit chilly, but just incredible. Really good. Right, so another 12 points for Kenny heading to the 100 meters. When you look down at that list, Coleman, yes, maybe Miller. I mean, is he going to win the 100?
The only people I see beating him in that 100 would be Christian Coleman and Christian Miller, and even if that happens, he should be secure for the slam. But if Zarnell is able to get ahead of him in that 100 meters, it becomes interesting. It becomes very interesting.
Back at Grand Slam track, women's 200, Melissa Jefferson Woodard. She's Mrs. Grand Slam right now.
That's right. And here's Gabby Thomas. Who's back in the short sprints. She was second in Miami. She won the long sprints in Kingston. So I know she wants a little bit of revenge here on Melissa Jefferson Wooden.
Tamari Davis, second in Miami over this distance. Oh, sorry, my bad. There's Tamari Davis. Jaden Mays there. Another one of those fast Oregon Ducks from the Olympic trials in 2024 in this event. Made it through to the finals. Thelma Davies. She'll get a hometown welcome.
And rounding out the field, this is Solera Barnes. Had a breakout indoor season. the U.S. indoor champion at 60 meters. It's another great field, and after what Kenny Benari just did, I'm sure they're inspired to run really well in front of a great crowd.
8 really fast women. Steve Cram putting them to work. Half a lap.
We've just seen Kenny dominate. Will Thomas do the same here? The Olympic gold medalist in this event. Dina Asher-Smith of Great Britain, former world champion in lane 5.
Now reversing the order, 200 first.
Stand up.
Stand up.
They're just going to be asked to stand. Not quite sure whether there is a technical issue. Looking over in lane 2. Lane 2, I think, with Thelma Davis, just issue with her blocks, I think. What was that call from the crowd?
I never really heard someone boo in track.
Oh.
You get booed for setting your blocks up wrong. That's new. That's a GST signature.
Aren't they famous in Philly for once booing Santa Claus, isn't it?
Were they really?
Yes, I think they do.
Oh, they like to boo here.
Urban myth.
You better say your blocks up properly.
You want to be on the good side here in Philly.
Yeah, get those
but
blocks
I tell you
right.
what, Gabby Thomas is definitely on the good side. Everyone's going crazy for her when she came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, real track fans here. They're loving being so close at this 200-meter start. Gabby Thomas, an Olympic champion in lane 6, will be watching to make sure she wins this. Melissa Jefferson Wooden in 7, Prandini in 8, Dina Asher-Smith of Great Britain in 5, Tamari Davis in 4, Jaden Mays in 3, Thelma Davis in 2, Salira Barnes in lane 1.
Bit of a drizzle.
Set.
Thomas away pretty smartly, although it's just lost half a meter or so. He's got to get moving here because Dina Asher-Smith is running a cracking bend and also going well. Jefferson Wooden into the home straight with a good 2-meter lead.
Oh, wow.
Can Gabby Thomas hold this in? She's got work to do.
Oh, wow.
Hold of Jefferson Wooden. Can she get there? Oh, wow. But she's got it. 21.99. Well, well, well. Oh, wow. She doesn't even want to look at Gabby though to go, sorry. Sorry. Look at Gabby's face.
Oh.
You gotta remember, Melissa is actually the first leg on the relay team. She's a turn runner. This is a turn favorite track.
This is, like you said, it's a different 200 meters here. Wide turn. You only, once you straighten up in the home straight, you've only got about 75 meters left.
Yes, yes. And I know that's what Melissa was thinking when she got on that straightaway. This straightaway short, I'm winning. I don't got to hold on for that much longer this time. And she held on.
So that's not only a personal best, again, another record for this track in the stadium.
Wow. In the rain.
I mean, at this point, you think, well, Gabby didn't get a good start because you're thinking, yeah, Dina Asher-Smith was up on it, but then you suddenly realize Jefferson Wooden is out there, but Gabby normally hauls people in, doesn't she?
She does. But sometimes when people are that far out there, I know there had to be a moment where Gabby was like, hold on a second, she actually is kind of far. There might have been a bit of panic getting into the straightaway because there was a lot of ground to make up. And you can see on Melissa's face, she knows that Gabby's going to be coming, but she has to hold on, and she did hold on and had the strength to be able to maintain in this 200. A huge win over the Olympic champion in the 200 meters. And she wanted that bad.
You look at, well, they didn't show on that replay, and the rain's back, but Gabby Thomas was tight, you know, kind of fighting to get there. Didn't get there. 8 points for her. Davis got 3rd in the end, ahead of Asher-Smith, but Jefferson Wooden. Maximum points, and we think it should then mean perhaps another maximum for her in the 100 tomorrow. All of that to come. Beautifully set up. Big win.
On the other side, the first race for a loaded men's short hurdles field, Trey Cunningham is fresh off an impressive title at the last Grand Slam in Miami. Don't count out Cordell Pinch and his 2 Diamond League wins this season, though. Stay with us.
Canada,
We are at our best when our hearts beat as one, united from coast to coast to coast. Canada isn't Canada without Team Canada, and Team Canada is nothing without you.
Welcome back to Grand Slam track in Philadelphia. Trey Cunningham and the men's short hurdles field are waiting in the wings. Let's go back to the track once again. Here are John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross.
I will now compare my thimble full of knowledge in the 400 meters to Sonia Richards-Ross' wash tub full of knowledge in this event. Women's long sprints, the 400 meters.
And this is the Olympic champion here. Marilady Paulino out in lane 8 was Alexis Holmes. Another great field assembled for the long sprints.
Got a rubber match because here's Salwa Nasir, who won in Kingston and then was second in Miami.
She ran 48.6 in Kingston early season. That was just mind-blowing. But so have been a lot of the performances here at Grand Slam. This is Nikisha Price, the NCAA champion while at Arkansas. She's just in her debut season as a professional athlete, so it's going to take her a little time to get back to form, but she's still someone to watch.
Lane 4, Livia Nilsson. We already saw her sister run. She's 3 times a British champ at this distance, twice outdoor and once indoor.
This is Isabella Whitaker. Went to school here at UPenn, had a phenomenal indoor season, broke the NCAA record. She ran 49.24 indoors. If that's indicative of what she's gonna do, she's ready to do something special here outdoor.
She came back and said, they already gave my locker away. She's like, I left and my parents changed my room.
That's how it goes.
Wait, how does that happen? Charlene Maudsley from Ireland, 50.71 she ran in the Olympic Games in Paris.
This is Jessica Gabai from Philly, competes for the Ivory Coast, 2024 African champion at 200 meters and has their record in the 300 and 400 as well.
And because of this unique Franklin Field track, once around and a little bit if you're in lanes 1, 2, and 3. Steve Cram.
Now that's a shot.
Guys, that was a drone. That's not there's no cameraman attached to that, don't worry. Health and safety. Brilliant flying.
You know, interestingly enough, Paulino still has the 3rd fastest time this season, behind Gabby Thomas. And of course, Salwa Nasir, number 1.
Win for her, though, I think is the big thing here, isn't it?
Set.
Paulino with Nasir. Just Paulino following Alexis Holmes, who starts quickly if she often does down the back straight or into the back straight. Alexis Holmes with a good lead at the moment, you would say that, very early in this 400 meters. And Paulino just feeling that Nasir has moved up, so is Nikisha Price. Then a bit of a gap to the other athletes. Nielsen right in the middle in lane 4. This is going to be close, this one. Look at Nasir, she's taking it to her. It's going to lead through 300 meters. As they come up this long, long bend, Nasir's half a meter. Paulino starting to pull her back. Nikisha Price still going well. Paulino almost looks as though she changes gear. And Paulino finds an extra gear, and off she goes. Paulino takes the win. 49.12. That was awesome. That was a guy, an athlete who didn't panic, stayed calm, kept the race plan, knows that Nasir was trying to, as you said, kind of change things up, get ahead, get her thinking, get her worried, get her concerned. But no.
And I mentioned the times earlier, when it comes down to it, you want to come out with the win. It really doesn't matter what the clock says. The wins are what matters. And I don't think that Paulino wants to end up behind anybody else in any more races, despite whatever comes up on the clock.
Just need to have another look at her, because I was getting a bit confused in the end. And Carrie pointing out, I'm not sure we had everybody finishing in the lanes we were meant to finish in.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there might have been 2 people in lane 4 or 5 here. Watch.
So look at this. Who is Nasir's in the wrong lane?
Oh, wow. She is definitely in the wrong lane. Now, is that a DQ?
Well,
because she's not inhibiting.
Not at this point. It's if she, where did she move into lane 4?
It looks like just in the straightaway. If she did it in the straightaway, I think she's okay because
if
she's
she
not
does it in the
inhibiting
straightaway
anybody.
and she doesn't inhibit the other athlete, she should be okay.
Right. Now, if there was an advantage gained on the turn in any way.
Have you ever seen one of those big train junctions where all the lines cross and you're never quite sure how they...
Yeah.
Well, I think the signals hadn't been set properly here because she...
Well, Paulino was in her lane.
Yeah, we're just double checking. We haven't seen a DQ yet, and I don't expect we will see one. I don't know if that ever happened to MJ. Switch lanes in the home straight. Good spot, Carrie.
Very good spot.
12 points for Paulino. Aidnassa 8. We think it's going to stand as an official result, but we'll keep you.
Well, that DQ
posted.
would be major points-wise and standings-wise. So these DQs mean a lot. They always mean a lot. But I'm just saying.
So let's just hope there was no impeding.
Yeah. Maybe we should stop talking about it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe I should point it out.
Nasser wants us to stop talking about it.
Some good performances behind on Nikisha Price with a 50.04 best for her this season, as indeed was the same for Whitaker in 4th place.
Unfortunately, Eid Nasser was disqualified for her actions and will go into the second race of the women's long sprints with 0 points. Let's go back now to John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross.
This is the short hurdles for the men and another dynamite field.
We saw fireworks in this event in Miami because of so much great talent. Now we have some new challengers in the field. This is Simonelli. This is his debut. He was a semifinalist in Paris.
Freddie Critton, one of the racers. He's been 3rd in both hurdle races so far, 4th and 5th overall in the slam. He was a Paris Olympian, made it to this, well, thank God for the repechage, but he was into the finals.
That's right, and this is Daniel Roberts, Olympic silver medalist at this distance. He was only 5th in Miami and 4th in Kingston, so he's gonna wanna pick that up and really show his pedigree.
I was the fastest guy from Green Bay, Wisconsin in this field till Cordell Tinch just showed up on camera, and now I'm not close. Ran 12:87 in China. He's the guy to look for, as is this clown.
And Trey Cunningham, I mean, he came in as a This is Trey Cunningham. He came in as a challenger in Miami, and he swept both races in a stunner. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, love that guy when I say he's a clown. It's a term of affection. And then Jakub Szymanski of Poland running for Puma out there in lane 8. Let's go upstairs. Steve Cram will have the call.
Cordell Tinch was all business. Not much smiling. I think this race is very important as far as establishing himself as him being the guy. The way Trey Cunningham was talking, he was actually talking like he already won the race. The confidence I'm hearing out of him is very interesting. So seeing them line up.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Wills.
You know, Tinch, we saw in Kingston, 5th. Then he goes to China and runs super quick. Pressure on.
He's going to want these hurdles. He's going to want these hurdles.
Tinch is in 6. Cunningham's in 7.
Set.
Roberts gets out very smartly indeed. Roberts who's leading it. Szymanski's there very much in as well. Britt over on the far side, and here comes Cordell Tinch. Cordell Tinch and Cunningham just coming away. Britt's right in the mix as well. It could be Britt. Very close indeed. Wow. Jamal Britt over on the far side. Cordell Tinch isn't sure. 13:08. I think Britt got that in the end.
Wow.
They've given it to him.
Oh, that's huge.
Do you know?
Slam-wise, that's huge.
He started well. He's a good starter. Then you're just not sure what's going to happen after that with Jamal Britt. However, Tinch, by hurdle 5, I thought he was going to go on and move away, take it, but he didn't. And Britt ran through. I think Tinch thought he'd won that.
I think so too. I think with Cordell's running style, he knows once he's in the middle of the race, his speed between the hurdles and how quick his turnover is, he's more than likely to pull away. He got in the race very quickly, which is good for him. But for Jamal Britt to be able to pull this out, and considering how good his 100 is, I mean, he has a real shot at the slam.
Let's just watch this. Britt's over on the far side in lane 2. I said he's a good starter. Szymanski closest to the camera, also good out of the blocks.
Well, Daniel Roberts was gone.
Yeah,
he was out of there, and I think that actually helped Cordell to get in the race quicker. And once he got into the middle of the race, I actually thought he was just going to pull away easily. But out of lane 1, you saw Jamal Britt come up and maybe surprised him.
You need to watch Tinch turn around when he gets across, because it's like he goes to breast the tape and he goes, hang on, somebody else. It's gone.
Yeah. And even as I'm watching the build-up of the race, I'm thinking about those 2 lanes.
Watch this. I'm sure he thinks he's... And he goes, oh, and then he does look.
It looked like he looked over like, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
But I would be guilty of it too. I was thinking those 2 lanes, Cordell and Trey Cunningham. And Cordell might have been thinking the exact same thing. As long as I'm ahead of this guy, I win. And that's not the case, apparently.
Well, he was close to personal best in Miami when he ran 13.10. He's just 100th of his best here. Jamal Britt takes the win. That's going to be a very interesting 100 meters tomorrow for these hurdlers. 12 points, Tinch and Cunningham. Cunningham close enough, but the points can all change. Then we get into combined times, and he lost a 10th there, a full 10th on Jamal Britt.
Coming up next, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. After destroying the long hurdles field at the first 2 slams, one of the sport's biggest stars is dropping down to the short hurdles. The 4-time Olympic champ pushes her boundaries after the break on CBC Sports. Good news! You can stream select NSL matches live and for free on CBC Gem. Your next chance to do so is on Saturday, June 14th, when Calgary Wild FC host AFC Toronto at McMahon Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled for 5 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Mountain. Back in Philadelphia for the 3rd Grand Slam track event of the season. And honestly, it's time to get excited because the first race of the women's short hurdles is next, and it'll feature Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. What this 25-year-old has accomplished so far in her career is remarkable. Whenever she steps on a track for a 400-meter hurdles, the world record is in danger. The 4-time Olympic gold medalist and 3-time world champion won all 4 women's long hurdles races so far this Grand Slam campaign. She'll be outside of her comfort zone here in Philadelphia, racing with the short hurdlers, though. Let's see what she can do. Here are John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross.
John, the place was electric when Sydney just walked out onto the track. This might be the race of the night. Everyone looking forward to seeing what Sydney will do.
Megan Tapper there in lane 1. Certainly popular from Jamaica, but not Sid popular.
This is Tia Jones. She's making her 3rd appearance as a Grand Slam challenger. 12:19. She was just off the American record only because she finished 2nd in Miami. Great race.
Taji Kambuji here from Switzerland. Her sister had to finish her season. She just announced she's pregnant. She needs your pediatrician. She wouldn't come over because she couldn't fly.
And here she is. The queen of the oval, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, has dropped down to the women's short hurdle. She's running the 100 hurdles and the 100. Everybody's waiting to see what she'll do here.
Kira Nugent's been 3rd and 4th in the hurdle races and then has blistered the open 100. See what she's got. Her day, she'll be counted on the next day to figure out how this goes.
Yeah, the 2 Jamaicans side by side. Daniel Williams won the slam in Kingston. Nugent won in Miami. What will they do here?
Tania Marshall, part of Dennis Shaver's sprint crew down there in LSU. He just finds fast women all the time. They'd never let up.
Yeah, and they said that she looked really, really good in warm-ups. This is Christina Clemens. She's making her Grand Slam debut. She's an Olympic semifinalist and a world indoor silver medalist back in 2018.
And if you're
this is it, the moment we've been waiting for.
If you're wondering how this goes, 12:61, the facility record for 11 for 11 clean sweeps. Steve Cram.
Saw earlier that she's leading the point standings for Racer of the Year, and she's putting it on the line to run with these short hurdlers.
She's in 4. Tia Jones is in 2. Nugent in 5.
Set.
Sydney gets out. 100-meter hurdle. Nugent has got to wait quickly. Also going well. Tia Jones on the far side. It's Nugent just leading this one at the moment. Nugent's got this. Akira Nugent continues to go away. Wins it easily in the end. 12:44. Sydney just not on terms in an event we wouldn't necessarily expect it to be. Tia Jones did hang on for second place after getting out sharp, but Nugent staffed her authority all over that race there. Got out well, was up with Jones, who we know can get out quickly, so does Tapper as well, but then she just continued to move away from them. Sydney, 5th.
Commanding race by Kira Nugent. You always have kind of a chip on your shoulder when it's your event and you want to protect that event and other people coming into it. And she obviously wanted to make sure that she established who's who in the most competitive event in track and field right now.
And you're right, when you look at the world, and no Masai Russell here, but what she did in Miami, with people popping up all over the place, people like Amusan, Nugent. I mean, Nugent, had a chance at Olympic medal, and it all fell away from her in the first hurdle. But great to see Sydney take it on. Great athletes like a challenge.
I'd rather see her challenge herself, man, if I'm being honest. We know what she can do with the 4 hurdles. We've seen it for years. She's constantly racing the clock. I'd like to see her race people, and she did it. I think she has a desire to do that as well. You got to be able to do things to keep the heat under you. I think she realizes that. She actually got out decently. Having Akira right next to her, though, when you're next to that kind of cadence, it can actually throw you off, because this is something that she doesn't necessarily feel all the time. She's on a stagger usually and doesn't always have athletes right next to her. So that's new for her. And to see someone 3-stepping that quickly right next to you, it's not that simple to run next to.
I mean, technically, she's only raced this twice, I think, since 2021.
Yeah.
So, and until you get in the mix with the fast people, it's all right in training and everything. But, she did pretty well there. She's beaten some good athletes, including Kapwinji Williams. So McLaughlin Levrone, 5th place there, 4 points. Flat 100 to come tomorrow. Nugent in a good position there with Jones at the top again, 12 and 8 points. And Megan Tapper taking the 6th there. And as you mentioned, in terms of the overall racer, that she pretty much knew she was almost throwing that out of the window, particularly because Jefferson Wooden won again today in the 200 meters in the long sprints. Sorry, short sprints.
After the break, Alison Dos Santos looks to go 6 for 6 in the men's long hurdles to start this Grand Slam season. He races for $100,000 in the 400-meter next on CBC Sports. Back in Philly, Trey Cunningham and the men's short hurdlers are standing by. From here on out, $100,000 is on the line in every event. With the call of the second race of the men's long hurdles, here are Steve Cram, Anson Henry, and Kerry Tollefson.
Chris Robinson in lane 8 on the outside, and this incredibly famous, historic track, but one in which the outside lanes definitely have a bit of an advantage in the 400 meters. So Robinson with a 44.15 clocking is set fair here in terms of his opportunity to try and cause the upset. There's Dos Santos, he's not that cold, that's what he always does on the start line. But he knows he wants to win this slam and also keep his perfect record going with a victory on the flat here Clement Ducos. We haven't seen the best of the Frenchman yet in Grand Slam. Got a good lane here as a racer. He's in 6th. Now, Caleb Dean, again yesterday, went out really hard, faded over the last couple of barriers, but has immense talent at 400 meters flat. He was 3rd in this event in Miami with a new personal best, 45.18. Then Trevor Bassett. Well, he's never been under 45 seconds for the flat event. Looked pretty good yesterday, 48.25, and finishing pretty close to Dos Santos. Then we've got CJ Allen, finished 5th. Assini Wilson, very good young Jamaican. Not a bad 400-meter runner either, but tricky on that inside, these 2 inside lanes. Gerald Drummond takes lane 1, man from Costa Rica. Well, the reason they do that is when this track was originally made, what is now lane 4 was the 400 meters, and then the inside lanes added because of the walls and the old buildings. The full 9 lanes you can have here, but the 8 lanes we are using means 1, 2, and 3. They have to run more than 1 lap to complete 400 meters. I hope you've got that. I've tried to explain it as much as I can. What a great drone shot there through the entrance. The guy's ready to go.
Trevor Bassett had something written on his hand. I hope we get the question afterwards to see what that was.
Maybe it was stay in lane 5. More of that later. Actually, no, he's in lane 4. Stay in 4.
Oh, you might have jinxed him.
I may have. Dos Santos in 7, Robinson in 8. Men's 400.
Set.
Dos Santos stood up out of the blocks, didn't he? And they let Robinson just take a meter or so. Plenty of time to hold that back in. Caleb Dean has gone off very, very quickly. He's already hauled in Ducos, the Frenchman. Down the back straight, the crowd rise. They know where the battle is. They know where the fight for the slam needs to happen. It's Robinson and Dos Santos keeping an eye on his big rival, going well in lane 2, Assini Wilson. And his stagger will unwind and put him close to the top 3. But it's Dos Santos going well, and then Bassett trying to come back into it. Caleb Dean is still there. There's 5 men with a chance here. Dos Santos with Robinson on the outside. And Dos Santos is starting to tie up. Bassett is trying to get there. Robinson coming back, but it's going to be Bassett. Dos Santos threw himself across the line.
He had the grit. He actually did have the grit.
Does Dos Santos get 2nd place? Because then we're into times. No, Robinson is 2nd, and that means that Trevor Bassett will be the Grand Slam champion. He doesn't know it yet because he might not have seen the result by 1/100th of a second. Robinson holds off Dos Santos, and that means that from a points total, 12 points for the win. And because Bassett was 2nd yesterday in the hurdles, he has a total of 20 points. Dos Santos only 18. There he goes.
I had a feeling, man. I had a feeling. On that straightaway, they all came together. And when that happens in the 400, it's just who wants it more. And I mentioned grit. I got it in quotations right here, grit. Trevor Bassett, huge win for him. Like I said, as we're coming to the home stretch, I think having Caleb Dean on the outside of him helps him a lot because Caleb got out really well on the first turn and put him in great position early in the race. And because of that, him coming next to Dos Santos in the straightaway, I think he had more of a desire to get to the line because it is his first slam. And Dos Santos has kind of had a cakewalk so far. Dos Santos looked uncomfortable on the straightaway right away.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, he stood up out of the blocks almost.
You
as
mentioned
well.
that.
You know,
you mentioned
he didn't start well yesterday.
Yeah.
And we have to remember, you know, the margin for Bassett was much smaller. Like, he's closer to his flat-out best in the 400 here than Dos Santos.
Right.
But, and indeed Robinson, but he did it.
Right. And with different tracks, I mean, it kind of changes the race pattern. And I don't know if Dos Santos has ever ran on a track like this before, but wasn't working out in his favor today.
All right, let's just tidy all of that up. 12, 8, and 6 for those top 3 there. That's where the action was, really. That's where it was going to be decided. Dean perhaps could have got, would have had to win that and hope that other things happened to help him out, but it wasn't to be. So Trevor Bassett moves to 20, Dos Santos 18, Chris Robinson 14. He takes third place, and there's the prize money. Bassett gets the big dosh.
Trevor Bassett, you are now Grand Slam champion in Philadelphia. How does that sound?
It sounds incredible. It sounds amazing.
The grit and tenacity you showed in that was absolutely sublime. That was a proper race gun to tape.
Thank you. I pride myself on my toughness on my finish. I just put my faith in God. I was going to run as hard as I can and let God deliver me through the race, and he did that today.
$100,000 you've got for your hard work. What was going through your head before the race began? Because against Alisson Dos Santos, of all people, he was perfect coming into this.
Just belief. I stepped in line. I believe that I can win. I just have to go do it. And I put myself in range yesterday, so I wanted to give everything today.
You did exactly that. Congratulations.
Thank you. God bless.
From the conclusion of the men's long hurdles to that of the short hurdles, here are John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross.
Go through and look at these lane by lanes. In the first one, there's Lorenzo Simonelli from Italy. Got a PR of 10:25, so that puts him on the faster end of this field.
Yeah, he's about third or fourth fastest in the field. This is Cordell Tinch. Since Kingston, John, he's been 5 for 5. Been pretty dominant. Didn't win here, but he also, too, you know, he's pretty good in the 100. He's competitive, but not one of the fastest.
Not fast like this guy.
No, Jamal Britt, man, what a great race yesterday. I'm sure a lot of the fans returning appreciated his run. He's second fastest in the field.
Lane 4 is open because of a scratch from Daniel Roberts. His buddy Freddie Crittenton is right there. He's running all 3 slams, 4th in Miami, 5th in Kingston.
And watch out for Trey Cunningham. He really did, I mean, surprised everybody when he came to Miami and swept the 100 hurdles and the 100. He'll be the one to beat here at 100 meters here.
Ran 10:17. I said, how do you do so well? He goes, I like money. All right, put it out there, huh? Jakub Szymanski from Poland. He's run 11:24, so it's been a while since he's run. I bet I'm rooting for him to break 11.
He should. It's going to be a competitive field, and rounding out the field is Eric Edwards Jr., the Houston native. Competed at LSU, is 7th so far in the running.
Another one of them fast LSU Tigers, man. They're everywhere. Up to the booth for the call of this race.
Trey Cunningham would need Jamal Britt to come in 3rd place, which is a tall ask. I don't expect that to happen.
Yeah, and if that happened, then they would also it would come down to times. There's 0.1 exactly between them in the hurdles. So Cunningham, all he can do is try and win this, make sure he wins it. For Britt, who's a good starter normally. He's in lane 3, that empty lane next to him on his right. Tinch is in 2.
Set.
Tinch actually got out pretty well, but not as good as Jamal Britt. Britt and Simonelli going well, and Trey Cunningham right in the middle. Cunningham might just have this in the moment. It's going to be close, but Cunningham moves away! 10:38. Not as quick as we saw in Miami. It's into a bit of a headwind, almost 2 meters per second. That's why it takes a 10th or so off everybody here at least. But we said he had to come in the top 2. He's done it by 200ths of a second. There's the slam champion, Jamal Britt. Cunningham did what he had to do. Wasn't going to look around to see what was happening behind him. But Britt had to get second there. It was only by 200ths because he was so far behind, because Cunningham would have won it on time.
Yeah. As I said, he had to come in 3rd place. I didn't see that happening, but it was actually a lot closer than I expected for him to get 3rd place. You really have to fight for that. Trey Cunningham obviously disappointed. Was expected to be the top 2 in the hurdles, but it didn't work out that way. So 3rd place at the slam compared to his win is obviously gonna be very disappointing. Out of the blocks, Cordell Tinch actually had a really good start. Jamal Britt holding well. Simonelli actually got out the best out of all of the sprinters, but in the middle of the race, Trey Cunningham clearly just has better speed than everyone else. His top speed is in a really good place. Holding his drive phase, a lot of aggression through that transition. Jamal Britt would have noticed very early in his peripheral vision that Trey Cunningham was running away with this race. And from that standpoint, you just got to make sure you secure second place. Once that guy on the right is gone, you just got to focus on staying ahead of the guys on the left.
Not easy, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
big day for Jamal Britt. $100,000 first prize for him by 200ths of a second. It wasn't much in it. That's what he beat Simonelli by. Had he not, then the money would have gone to Cunningham, or the big money would have gone to Cunningham. Cunningham's going to be second in the slam overall. Simonelli, I said, was a pretty good sprinter. Wind against him. It's really odd because the flags where we're sitting look as though it's with them.
it did look like that. And that's a brisk headwind.
Yeah, it is. Someone's stirring the wind down there. Britt, 20 points, takes the win from Cunningham. Tinch hangs on to third place overall. Simonelli moves himself up to fourth. Well done to him. Sadly, as we said, Dan Roberts did not compete there.
Jamal Britt, Grand Slam champion. All the pressure was on your shoulders, but you delivered. How were you feeling before that race started?
I mean, there was no pressure. Like I said, I was coming out here trying to replicate what I did in Miami. And I got second, you know, to secure the Slam Champ win. So that's all that matters.
And what also matters is a cash injection of $100,000 US. What are you going to do with that?
Really, I'm just going to save. I'm unsponsor, so I'm going to save that money and use it to my advantage to continue to run in the sport. Because the past couple of years has been a struggle just on trying to get treatment and, you know, compete at the highest level and be the elite athlete I know I am.
And that's the amazing thing about this format. Congratulations, Jamal. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Congrats, Jamal. After a fifth-place finish in the 100-meter hurdles, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone will try and climb up the women's short hurdle standings after the break on CBC. The Canadian swimming trials are underway in Victoria, BC, and we want to make sure you don't miss a second of it. Watch Summer McIntosh and the rest of our country's best vie for spots on Canada's World Championship team on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. Racing continues from now until Thursday. Grand Slam track coverage continues from Philadelphia. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone is nearly ready for the second race of the women's short hurdles, the 100-meter. Once again, John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross.
Go through the lane by lanes. Tania Marshall ran down there at LSU, won the 100-meter hurdles there in Tokyo at a Golden Grand Prix back in May.
This is the Taji Kambunji making her Grand Slam debut. She was sixth in the hurdle. She's running 11:47, so competitive.
Megan Tapper, she'll be popular here. Always a lot of big Jamaican crowd that comes here to Philly, the Olympic bronze medalist.
And Sydney has not run 100 in 7 years.
Bet in practice she's run bunny.
The crowd appreciation for her. I think she'll be better in this than she was in the 100-meter hurdles.
Going to be tough to be better than this gal. That's Akira Nugent, who won in Miami and blistered 11:09 in the 100. So she comes off a win in the hurdles and a win in the flat in Miami.
Yeah, she means business. This is Tia Jones, who has been running so well at 100-meter hurdles, but really struggles in the 100. Has only run 11:50. This will be a tall order for her. She's currently sitting in second place.
The Kingston Slam winner, Danielle Williams. Another one of those with a quasi-home meet.
Yeah, world champion multiple times, just a lot of pedigree in the hurdles. And this is Christina Clements, now 35. She's a mom, has had a lot of success, especially indoors in the 100-meter hurdles, but this is her Grand Slam debut.
So we have set the field, but we sublet the job of calling the race. That's upstairs to Steve Cram, Anson Henry.
Akira Nugent can start well also.
You know, there's something about winning the slam and winning both races. And I think Akira Nugent will want to be able to do that.
First and second in Miami, won the slam. Can she win both here?
Set.
Tapper does get out well, but so does Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. If anything, she's just in the lead at the moment, but there goes Akira Nugent. Starts to pull away from Sydney. It's going to be Akira Nugent slam! 11:12.
Yeah, she can run, man.
That is quick. We saw that the men had a slight headwind. This was almost a flat wind in this one. So the 11-11 has been taken down to. And hey, Sydney did well. 11-21. And then Kambunji coming through with a new personal best for third. Just for 30-40 meters.
Yeah.
You thought, is she going to hold her? But away she went.
Akira Nugent can run, man. She, the way she broke away from the field in the middle of the race was very, very impressive. Like I said, she's able to open her stride up in the 100 like most short hurdlers can't. And 11-12 in this weather is actually very, very good. Possibly close to a 10-second race in really good conditions and a favorable wind. She had no wind in that race. Sydney, I'm sure, is happy with that race coming in second place. But out of the blocks, Akira Nugent does hold a very good position out of the blocks. And what I like about her is once she transitions out of her dry face, she locks into a really good position running-wise. Her legs come up under her very, very well, and she's able to maintain form through the latter part of the race. Sydney actually had a solid run, pulled away from the rest of the field as well. Probably popped up a lot earlier than she should have. That's a common mistake for most people who don't run the 100 much. You could see Nugent actually hold her dry phase a little bit longer, and it actually helped her come out of it and move into her top speed a lot better than Sydney. So big technical difference. Akira Nugent getting a liking for this 100, I think.
Well, you know, when she's on top of her game, isn't she?
She is.
It's so unfortunate at the Olympics last year, and I said she won a medal at the World Indoors behind Tanji and Devon Charles. But I think outdoors, it's, you know, this could be her year. This could be her year. In one of the world's toughest events, women's 100 hurdles, you know, you could line up 8 people and 8 different winners over 8 races.
Exactly.
But she's won here, won both races. She's the slam champion. Gets the full max 24 points. Sydney's, well, she's done quite well, really. We knew she was going to drop out of the Racer of the Year contention because she's dropped down into the short hurdles, but still comes away with 12 points, taking second place overall.
Still in the mix.
So Nugent defends her short hurdles title from Miami and adds another $100K to her bank account. The second race of the women's long sprints is next. Let's go back to John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross.
Going through lane by lanes, there we are into lane 7, and there is Sawai Nasser. Again, this is the 200. It is lanes all the way, and we would like her to stay there, but just in case you're checking, lane 7 is the one she needs to finish in.
Yes, hopefully she will get it right today. Here's Marilady Paulino, the Olympic champ at 400. And since Kingston, man, she has not looked back. She swept in Miami, both the 400 and 200, and I expect that she's going to do that again today.
And as we poke fun, I just want to make sure, Nasser, what an unbelievable athlete. It was a great run in that 400. Alexis Holmes, she's got some gold medals from the Olympics thanks to her relay work.
One of America's up-and-coming stars. This is Jessica Gabay. She competes for the Ivory Coast. This is her Grand Slam debut. She was a finalist in this discipline in Paris, so been here before. She should be in the mix.
If you have a degree from Penn, let's hear if people clap for you.
They do.
Isabella Whitaker, NCAA record holder in the 400, now running as a pro. Charlene Waldsley, lane 2 from Ireland, ran in the flat and a relays for Team Ireland.
Yep, she anchored them to 4th place finish there, a 7-time Irish champion.
Ran along with Rashida Delicate, a Texas Longhorn, not in this race. Up to the booth for the call.
Paulino's in 6. Price right on the outside here. And there's a former Olympic champion, Gwen Torrance, watching on.
So in the case of a tie break, if Nikisha Price is able to win this race, she'd have to win by 0.92 seconds.
Big ask.
Big ask.
Starts marksman, just checking Alexis Holmes in 5.
Set.
Oh, Holmes almost made a false start there. She gets away with it, and then going well just inside her is Jessica Gabay. As we'd expected, Paulino running a good bend here. It's Gabay, Keisha Price in this El Nasser. It's all so close, but Gabay's just going to have to give this one away because Paulino is striding away from everybody else. She's just so quick, so strong. Paulino takes the win again. 22:47. Wins the 400, wins the 200, slam champion Paulino again. Kind of just kept it intact round the bend and then unleashed into the home straight, moved away from everybody else. Whittaker did come through to nick second place, and that'll be good for her because that will mean she'll finish second overall with that performance. So Whittaker second in this one and second in the slam, but no doubt about our winner.
So much for drama. No, but you know what? I actually want to rescind my comment about her having struggles on the turn. She was clearly ahead off of the turn, and if she's ahead off the turn, none of these women are going to catch her. A big star on the low. But like I said, she actually jumped on Nasser a lot faster than I'd expect her to, because Nasser usually jumps out early on the turn in the 4. And once that happened, I knew she was in good position. Got on the straightaway first place, used that sling to really propel her further into the lead. Long legs, eating up track, putting feet on the rest of these ladies.
Yeah, Whittaker finished really well. I mean, she was, just looking there, she was about 5th or 6th perhaps at 150. Certainly 5th. Came through well for second, but no doubt about the win. I mean, would you expect to see her on the circuit a little bit more, you know, running 200s?
Paulino?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, I wouldn't. But I do think that this is good training.
Confirmation of the result. Marilady Paulino in first, Isabella Whittaker, Bella Whittaker second, Jessica Gabay there. It just seems to me that down here when you run that curve, it's so much easier when it's the start and it's not 200 meters in from that 400.
Absolutely, and Marilady Paulino is making it look so easy. I used to think the best part of her race was the strength of her race, and now she's proving she has both the speed and the strength, which is going to make it really hard to beat her in the next couple years.
How does that pay off for her when you get to championship season running those 200s now?
Oh man, it's going to make her feel so comfortable coming through at 200 meters, her pace through 400. And I mean, she was already so dangerous in the final part of the race. So she's just making her race better and better every time she competes at the slam.
Coming up next, Marco Arop eyes his first Grand Slam title in the men's short distance. He crushed the field in the men's 800 meter and will look for enough points to get the job done in the upcoming 1500. After runner-up finishes at the first 2 slams, he's hungry for that top step. Welcome back to Philadelphia and the 3rd Grand Slam track event of the season. Melissa Jefferson Wooden is still to come in the women's short sprints, but next, Marco Arop and the conclusion of the men's short distance. Here are John Anderson and Chris Chavez.
Elliot Giles right there has one of the best split lines with his 800-meter personal best, but also has run 3:30 for the 15. Marco Arop there, fresh 3:35 personal best from Miami, but he's only getting better in this event.
Josh always been great in the indoor season.
It should get a little loud here when they introduce him because he's the hometown boy here, and he's got a ton of people probably in the stands, but he's been electric and on fire since last July.
Well, I don't know about the tortoise, but there's the hare.
Cole Hawker, and it got loud for him. That's what happens when you're the Olympic champion.
It does seem to go your way. Sam Chappell?
Yeah, so he's, you know, from the Netherlands, has put together a really good indoor season, and I feel like this is an introduction to, like, the big leagues, really, when it comes to racing.
Yeah, look at that just crazy dude in the earring.
Yair Nuguse may have just gotten the biggest reception of anyone in this field so far. Everyone must know today's his day.
Hobbs is feisty.
Yeah, Hobbs Kessler came out in the press conference and said that he wants to make it known that he should have been a racer, and so today he's got a chance to prove that in the 1500 where he's run 3:29.
Josh Kerr said, if we might run 3:30, we got loads of those.
Yeah, and Josh is someone who's like, when it comes to the 1500, he will always be a factor. He reminded us of that in Miami.
So a really good field. They were great at 8. They're going to be great at 15. Look at that. They're in for the goose. Upstairs to the booth for the call of the race.
So there they are, back against the wall, as they say here in Philadelphia, because that 1500 meter starts right at the bottom of the back straight. So Carrie, look at this leader. You wouldn't expect that.
No, I am surprised to see Marco Arub out there, but he said yesterday after that race he wants this win. You know, he's been close at the slams and he's getting more confident and excited every single time he does this longer event. But Yair Nuguse always finding himself up in there, right close to that lead. But Cole Hocker, okay, here we go. This is the guy that we know. He's probably sick of where he's been finishing and he wants to be up front.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I think you're right. Arup thought, you know, if I go at the front, they might not notice. I'll just run slow. Marco, they've noticed. Here goes Hocker. Nuguse follows. Howie is there. Kessler just tucked on the inside. Then Elliott, Josh Kerr right at the back. Not interested at this point. Sam Chappell alongside him in the dark strip. Coming through. That was not a particularly fast first 400 meters, but it wasn't slow. 57-ish, something like that. And that's a decent pace. So Hocker has got different tactics here. Remember, we saw this kind of with Jess Hull in the women's 1500 meters yesterday. She thought, well, let's change this up.
Yeah, let's change it up. And you know, I think that he knows that Cole Hocker knows there's guys in this race that can kick, so he has to be able to draw that out just a little bit. Nuguse can kick though, and he is a 1500 meter specialist. Here are our top 3 from the Olympic Games right here, with Kerr moving up into 3rd there. But Josh Howie, that is the guy that I think a lot of people have question marks on, in particular in this event. He's so good over 800 meters. He was a superstar in high school. Everyone here in Philly knows him. He's had some coaching changes, I think 5 coaching changes. He's been through a lot, but I think a lot of people are wondering, what can that man do? Look at Marco Arub, though, answering every little surge, every little move. This is what he needs to do to get himself into the front and on the top of the Grand Slam.
He went through 800 in 156. That was all down to Cole Hocker, the Olympic champion. Nuguse, his teammate on his shoulder. Rob, the Canadian, this is not his event, but he's looking good at the moment. Josh Kerr made the big move to get involved because he didn't want Hocker or anyone else to jump off the front, and maybe Howie fancies it. They're coming down this time. It'll be the bell. Everybody's still in with a chance. Hobbs Kessler's just stuck on the inside a little bit. Josh Howie decides to make it a good long run. Goes past Hocker.
Yeah, and Hocker just didn't even really react to that. He didn't pull back, but he just didn't react to that. You would thought he would have looked at him just a little bit. He's starting to try to get out, but look at Nuguse right there. Looks like he's got a little bit of, I don't know, some kind of discomfort on his face. And Marco Arub way out on the outside lane.
Look at this, the Canadian, the 800-meter runner, has taken it to the 1500, guys. Juan Yonyi did it in Kingston, the Olympic 800-meter champion. This is the man who finished second to him, and he's got the 1500 guys trailing in his wake. Can he be strong enough? Arrow looks brilliant here. Here comes Josh Kerr. Here comes Josh Howie. Here comes Cole Hocker. They all want to get in front of him. Hocker's got it at the moment. Josh Kerr, though, has got the momentum. Josh Kerr is going to take it again. Josh Kerr wins the 1500 meters. Now, Arrow was 5th there. He was 5th in the 800. So that means they're going to be on the same points. Kerr and Arrow
watching the
got
time.
The same points. What was the time difference between them? It was a big gap in the 800. I don't think it was a big gap here, though. I think the Canadian's going to get it. In fact, he's been given 4th place in the finish. I thought he was 5th. The photo finish says he was 4th. So the slam champion is disappearing down the straight there with the flag.
Listen, yesterday when we saw him run that 800 meters, I was wondering, why did he push so hard over the last 150? Yes, he wanted to win, but he won by a lot over Howie. And listen, that is why you need to run as hard as you can in both events, because that's why he won the slam. It's because he ran fast yesterday and he ran fast again today.
Well, all sorts happening there. the big move. Maybe just a little bit early,
Yeah,
maybe just a bit impetuous, and then he just didn't have the legs. So what's going to happen then? Well, Hocker, the Olympic champion, I haven't won a race since Paris. I'm going to win this one. No, you're not. Here comes the world champion. Josh Kerr takes it. What's happening behind? Arup, his legs are heavy, but he hangs on. I thought he'd lost fourth, but he hung on for fourth, and that means he's the slam champion. Hobbs Kessler was trying to get involved as well. He kept out of the way. I mean, Kerr's going to be happy, though, because he's twice now beaten the guys. You know, he's won the 1,500. That's the 1,500 guys wanting to make sure they come out on top. But well done, Marco Arup. It was brilliant, really good.
Brilliant by Arup. But Kerr, again, looked great, but got to give it up to Cole Hocker. He did mix it up, and he is back out in front. Yeah, he got beat today, but this is every single week, every single month. Things are gearing up for the big one in Tokyo this fall.
Yeah, that's 6 for 6 for Hocker, but I think you're right. You know, it's what happens for him. It'll be about the championship later in the year in that sense, but goodness me, made a big effort to win that there. Kerr maybe just thought that he'd done enough to get the slam title. No, Arup with a big fourth place by 1 point finishes ahead of the British athlete. Josh Hoey comes through for the third overall prize, 30,000 for him.
Marco Arup, second in Kingston, second in Miami, but got the slam here in Philly. Incredible.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was awesome. I knew after yesterday's win, I was coming in with a lot of confidence, but I was going to have to be very careful with the tactics, so I wanted to make sure that I controlled the race at least for a moment before someone else took over, and just stay composed the whole way.
Talking about composure, talking about control of the race, that last lap, you absolutely went for it.
Yeah, you know, I thought I had the win, to be honest, but those guys are so strong. I got to give a lot of credit to them.
But what you did was you won the slam. That's what it's all about. $100,000 US and your first ever one. Congratulations.
So much. That's all that matters. Slam champion, baby. Let's go. Thank you.
This is the women's short sprints race number 2, the 100 meters. Thelma Davies in there. She's from Philadelphia, went to LSU. Jenna Prandini had a great showing as a challenger in Kingston, finished second overall, and is back here now for another bite of the apple in Philly.
And this is Tamari Davis in lane 3. She's just 22. This young lady has so much promise. She was second fastest ever to 10:85 in 2022. Keep an eye out for her. This is Melissa Jefferson Wooden, and she's just having the slam of a lifetime, undefeated in all of her races so far. Well, no, she lost to Gabby, but not yesterday.
No.
Dominated Gabby here. Wow, you hear that reception for the 3-time Olympic gold medalist from Paris. Gabby, disappointed in the 200. Should have a good showing here, but it's going to be hard to keep up with Melissa Jefferson. And this is Dina Asher-Smith. She competed in the long sprints in Kingston. This is her debut in the short sprint. She was 4th
And
in
she
the
got
200.
a trophy case full of global medals, doesn't she?
Yes, she
Solera
does.
Barnes, who is actually the U.S. indoor champ at 60. Let's see if he can finish off the X40 after that. And then in lane 8, Jaden Mays, who just came off an indoor NCAA title as a team for the Oregon Ducks. That's the field. Here's the call.
Jefferson wouldn't. Where she's at the moment, that Gabby Thomas knows that even at her very best, she would struggle to get ahead of Jefferson Wooden.
Well, it would be sweet revenge to get Jefferson Wooden back in her event, as she took her event. Tall ask.
Big ask. So we've got Davis is in 3, next to Jefferson Wooden in 4. Thomas is in 5. Watch out for Barnes in 7. And they get away first time, and look at Jefferson Wooden already got a big start. Gabby Thomas 2 meters behind at this point. Tamara Davis going well in 2nd, but miles ahead of everybody. Jefferson Wooden
was nasty.
74.
That was nasty.
That is a legal win. That is incredibly quick. The fastest in the world this year.
Nasty.
9 meters.
Nasty.
10:74. Personal best.
It's freezing out here. It's freezing out here. 10:73, sorry. in this weather, barely any wind, alone. I'm realizing her realization.
She now gets onto the world all-time top 10, is level with Christine Aron with that time.
That's serious. If you hear her talk now, you're seeing that she's understanding, wait a second, I'm here. I'm not playing with these girls no more. And it's coming on her performances.
Sub 22 in the 200, and yeah, that just gave you a sign, to give you an inkling of what was likely to happen. Gabby Thomas left doing the selfies.
You know, I asked her how her approach changes when she's actually a favorite. And she actually said that it works better for her. She likes the spotlight. She likes people knowing that she's here. And technically, this was an amazing race. I find that she pops her head up a little earlier times. She didn't do that throughout this race. I wanted to see that view again. That's good we're seeing this. And coming into the line, I mentioned in Miami and also in Kingston, she was doing this thing with her arms, some rolling motion. I didn't see that today. Is that why she ran in the 10-7 range? Maybe.
Well,
it could be hearing my broadcast. But a class above the field. And she knows now. She knows she's here, and we know she's here. Yeah. A star is being born.
Absolutely focused there, and well, we know, look at Michael saying, woo! And then what do we all do? We all look, where's the wind gauge? Where's the wind read?
Yeah.
It's legal.
Yeah.
Big run. 2 big runs. Was a surprise that she won the 200. Maybe not to her, but certainly to Gabby Thomas and most of us watching. But wasn't a surprise she won the 100. But that time, 10:73. That's one of the quickest 100 meters by a woman you've ever seen here in Philadelphia. Tamari Davis just came ahead of Thelma Davis in that race. It means Tamari Davis will hang on to 2nd place. Gabby Thomas has to settle for 3rd overall.
10:73, Melissa. Sold out crowd. What does this moment mean to you?
It means everything. I've been working so hard for this, and I'm just learning so many new things about myself, the way I go about training, the way I go about staying disciplined even when I'm not feeling my best. And it's just all coming together, and I'm so happy I was able to get a new PB, win legal this time. So it's time to go back home, get back in the lab, and get ready for the next slim.
Win legal, but it is cold out here. What does that tell you about where you are right now on June 1st?
It's cold for everybody, and I do my best to warm up to the best of my ability. And my coach's main thing today was to make sure that I stay warm, so that's what I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Make that 3 Grand Slam titles for Jefferson Wooden. After the break, Kenny Bednarek aims to do the same in the final race of the Philadelphia Grand Slam. One race remains on the schedule at Franklin Field. It features 2 Canadians, but all eyes will be on Kenny Bednarek. Let's send it over to John Anderson and Sonia Richards-Ross to set the lanes for the conclusion of the men's short sprints.
Udodi Onwuzurike. Onwuzurike ran there at Stanford, won a 200 national title. Brian Lavelle, Jamaican, again, very popular racer here. Jamaican champ at 200.
This is Canada's Andre De Grasse, 7-time Olympic medalist. When there's a medal on the line, he always grabs one, and he's really rounding into shape through these slams. Here is the man to beat. This is Kenny Bednarek. Was superb yesterday, dominated the field at 200 meters, and I think just like Melissa Jefferson Wooden, he's going to dominate this 100 as well.
Zarnell Hughes has had some great finishes here in Grand Slam track, collected a lot of money, still looking for his first victory, the 2-time British Olympian.
In lane 6, this is Christian Coleman, brought in as a challenger. If he has that start, he could mix things up, but I think with the confidence Kenny has, he's still the favorite in this 100.
Lane 7 open, that should have been Christian Miller. And then in 8 is Aaron Brown, who's got a full set of Olympic medals in the 4x1. He's got a gold, a silver, and a bronze. I'd take that in my trophy case, thanks. Men ready for the short sprints. And we will go upstairs. Steve Cram, Anson Henry for the call of this.
has got used to winning. He's got used to, well, he's got a bigger bag to take the money home now, I think.
He does, but even though there was the heights of yesterday, he's actually in a peculiar position. He can really lose this thing. Zarnell won by 1,000th in that 200 yesterday to get him into second place. If he beats Kenny in this 100, which is possible, he has a better PR.
Yeah, he
World
does.
Championship bronze medalist. Drama.
It would be. Kenny's in 4, Coleman in 6. Gets out smartly, Kenny, but Coleman's the quickest. He's got a half a meter, but here comes Kenny. He's already gone into the front and away he's gone. Again, Kenny Bednarek is the boss. 987. Wow! It's quick here in Philadelphia. It might be chilly.
It's freezing.
But they are hot on the track. Very hot. 986. A new personal best. Wind legal. Nobody can take that away from him. Slam champion, we know that. Look how much he won by. He won the 200 by nearly half a second. And he's won this one by almost a couple of tenths. Away he goes. Good luck, guys. Go on, chase it. Nobody else can. Wow.
Well, Kenny's on a level right now, man. It's clear. 986 on this track. New track record here, actually. Christian Miller, a high schooler who had to pull out of the race, had the record.
Well, that ties the world lead at the moment, which was set just this weekend by Saminu of Ghana, but Zarnell Hughes is second again. Overall, third place in the 100 meters. He quietly keeps picking up a reasonable amount of cash, Zarnell, without necessarily troubling the winning tape.
And I gotta say this, I don't really like what ifs, but if it was warmer today, the clock would have said something stupid. But 987, he can still be happy with that. And the world has to take notice at this stage. And a lot of people like to say, well, it's still May or it's still June. We're getting into the time now where these times matter and these performances mean something, and Kenny's confidence is raising.
And one of the things you've said, and it's so evident here, it looks like it's just coming easily. He's not forcing it. When you see him in the last 20 meters, so relaxed. You know how Bolt used to look like? It kind of it's just so easy. We know it's not easy, but look at his face there.
Composure. Oh, girlfriend, wife, loving it.
She's a professional golfer. I mean, they both have so much going for them, so it's probably a really fun household right now.
Well, it's all about winning and continuing to do it, Kenny. That's another maximum points, 12 points. 986, as I mentioned, took that 100th off. That's important. Co-world leader at the moment. As Anson was saying, though, in these conditions, that's an amazing performance. 24 points. Zarnell Hughes, as ever, consistent, coming through to take second. Brian Lavelle, good first slam for him, taking third.
Kenny Bednarek, the first ever Grand Slam track three-peat is complete. How was that for you?
It feels amazing. I'm just happy to be here, and I came out to perform, and that's what I did, so I'm just happy.
You're looking almost invincible at this point. A clean sweep in all three events, 72 points. That means you are currently the racer of the year and looking favourite to take the title in LA. Is that in your mind at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's a little extra motivation, but like I said, every single meet that I go to, I just stay to the script that my coach and I built, and this is the performance we get.
And just finally, is this the best ever Kenny Bednarek we're seeing?
No, this is not the best. We still got a lot more to go. We're not even peaked yet, so I was just getting a taste.
Well, that's very exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Yet another sparkling event courtesy of Kenny Bednarek. Through 3 of 4 Grand Slams this season, he is the only athlete to have won all 6 of their races. And how about Marco Arop? After finishing second in both Kingston, Jamaica and Miami, Florida, he gets the job done in Philly. CBC Sports Presents returns on Saturday, June 14th. We'll begin at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with coverage of the Canada Cup of Diving from Gatineau, Quebec. Then it's off to Quebec City for Men's Volleyball Nations League action between Canada and Argentina. Finally, the Diamond League campaign takes us to Oslo, Norway. What a brilliant meet in Philadelphia. Grand Slam track returns at the end of the month in Los Angeles, the final meet of the inaugural season. Until then, from all of us at CBC Sports, good night.